second. Okay. Have I got a second to go and get a cup of coffee?
Yep. You got about 8.
Okay, back a minute.
So who's online? Let me have a look. Oh, Gillian. Are you there, Gillian?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I've
Did you
made
get
it this time, third time lucky.
So we'll have you thanking Pat, all right?
No, please don't. I'm not.
Oh, all right. I've got you down here. I got to find someone to. Oh, don't tell me nobody wants to thank Pat. Are you there, Pat?
I am.
I'm not. Yeah, me.
It's a bad omen preceded me.
No, it's my reception's not too good. I couldn't disappear.
That's all right. I'm the same as well.
It's a bit touch and go here, so I'm a bit unreliable.
Right. Are you there, Patty?
Me?
Patty.
No.
Patty Sweeney.
Well, his screen's there, but he's not there.
Oh, he's having a cuppa. It's all right. We'll work it out. Well, we've got a lot of apologies for the first meeting of the year.
Everyone's at the beach, huh?
Yeah, some.
Some people have got to work.
What a life.
Yeah, terrible. I got a message from Graham Nichols. He's working, so
Aha.
he has to work. He's in New Zealand. Everyone in New Zealand has to work.
Lovely
Is he
government
flying?
up there.
I'm not sure whether he's crew or in office but he's obviously he left years ago and then he went back. So that's interesting.
Sometimes it's easier just to do what you know, what you can do.
Well, I guess it's just these days it's better for him to do that and retire and actually pocket some money, and it's all about if there's a work. Yeah. He built a house in New Zealand a couple of years ago, so obviously he wants to pay that off as quick as he can.
Yeah. Where is everybody this morning?
We're all here.
Is that all those people that's here?
The important people here, right?
Oh, the Denzo's here.
Oh my God. And we're an hour behind you guys.
Yeah.
Behind.
Well, yeah.
Well, they got daylight saving there. Well, in New South Wales anyway.
Oh,
Well, we're 3 hours behind you. It's only 4:36 a.m. here.
oh
Is
no!
it?
And you've got full daylight almost.
Oh, no, that's I've got a light there. No, that's behind me is my little virtual window.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Change that. I should change it actually to what I normally have background.
Nah. No, the other one looks much better.
Right, we'll go back to that then.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like you're on a veranda on a sunny day or sunny morning.
He's
Yeah,
at the Lau Lake House.
Right.
Oh, we didn't get any sound, Charlie.
Sorry, what was that?
We didn't get any sound when you were talking just then. I said you're
I
at the
said-
Lau
No,
Lake
that-
House.
that can be good and bad, Rhonda.
Depending on who I'm.
Oh, hi, Denzo.
Howdy. Nice to see everybody.
Hi, Susan and David.
Hello there. Hi,
Oh,
Pat.
hello.
Morning.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, Joanne.
Wonderful to see you, Susan. Been too many years.
Oh, it's been a long time. Come on, come. It's been a long time. This is our pandemic puppy that we got.
Oh, wow. What is he?
We're into fur babies.
Fur babies. Oh, yes. Well, we've got a couple too. So Jeremy's got a couple too.
They're just wanting attention at the moment.
But yours are quiet, aren't they, Jeremy? They're well behaved.
They just keep dropping a toy in my lap and waiting.
Oh, really?
for it. Yeah, that's right.
Like kids, they want
looking
attention.
down. Yeah.
Well, I've got them scratching at the door. They want to keep coming in, but
And I've got one too.
come on.
Especially when you get on the phone or a call or something, then they want the attention.
Come on.
Mm.
Yeah, I think somebody should design an office chair that fits 2 dogs on it.
You got 2 knees.
They want to sit on the chair, which means I only get to sit on the edge. But anyway,
2 chairs.
yeah, but they want to sit with you. So this is one. This is an adopted one. She's my mother's puppy. So
Turn the fan up, 'cause it's hot already.
hey, boo.
My one sits next to, or she's got a little bed when I'm working from home. And if somebody comes to the door, like a package or anything like that, she charges to the door and barks loudly, and it just really shakes me up. So
Oh, really?
train her not to. Yeah,
Oh.
she's got some mini schnauzer in her as well, so they're known to be barkers.
Oh.
Hi, Margaret.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
That's good.
You're
Nice.
well?
Yeah, I am, Rhonda. How about you?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Nice to see everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Charlie?
Good, thanks.
That's good.
Rhonda, did you get that message from Greg?
When? No, I haven't had anything this morning.
There is one there now. He's asking you to send the link to him. I've had a few inquiries this morning about the link and videos.
Okay.
Eddie said he didn't receive the link and he registered twice. So
Didn't
I
he?
sent him the hey?
He didn't get the email.
Yeah.
Charlie, is that your lake behind you? Oh no, it's a digital image, isn't it? Or is that your lake?
That
Both.
is the lake, but that's
Yeah.
my digital of it. Yeah. Yeah, so,
Nice. Very nice.
Mm.
I could show you another one that I've got for that as well as a background. I'll quickly show you. I think it's here. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wow. That looks great.
Oh.
So that's the house behind me, and on the right is accommodation as well. But we'll go back to the one I had, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, not that one. I've lost it already.
Mm.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's getting close to start time, and we've got nowhere near it.
It's exciting.
All right, I've just sent Greg, so he'll be on. We do have an apology.
I'm in. Thanks, Rhonda.
Okay.
I'm wondering whether we've got a bit of a problem with the link, with people getting the link, because
People don't check their junk mail, and if you're expecting something and don't get it, you need to check your junk mail.
I asked Paddy to check his, and he said he did, and he didn't get the link.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure what happened to Ken, because I've sent him a link this morning.
Why don't you have the same one each time?
Because you have to book.
Oh, okay.
It's not a public, yeah, it's not public
Oh, okay. All right.
Zoom. And, well, you'll understand more later on. I was about to say something, but it's premature for me to say. So just,
Okay, thanks, Rhonda.
I'm just checking that there's no other emails that I need to attend to for this morning.
Good time now.
It's been up all night. Got that.
With Sylvie today.
Charlie said that she sent a message that she wasn't. So I don't know what's happening this morning.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening this morning. Maybe people don't realise it's the 1st of the month already. It comes up quickly. Maybe people don't realise it's the 1st of the month already. It comes up quickly.
I
We're still
communicated
in
with
January.
this.
We're still in January 31st.
Who's still in January? Oh, in America, yes, and Canada, of course you are.
We're
Yeah,
behind you.
can't
You're
write
a future.
normally here.
Gen code. No, that's okay. I can't see anything else that relates to this morning.
Well, I have people that I've given jobs to that are not even online yet. So we'll have to go through that as we.
You better learn how to delegate properly, Charlie.
Can you fix this, please, Greg?
Bruce, I'm in.
You got to admit he's quick.
There we
Good
go,
morning.
Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Good morning, all. How are we?
Good.
You're all looking good.
Thanks, Brian.
Oh, hello, Brian.
Coming from you, that means a lot, mate.
Oh, you. I know I'm looking good. Mate, it's going to be 35 degrees here in Brizzy, so yeah. So it's, you're going to love it.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. I think you should start.
8, 12. Okay, yes, I've got 7:45, Charlie.
Hmm.
Oh, hello, Anne.
Hey there. How are you all?
Good, thanks.
Hey.
Charlie, before you get started, I have an apology from Leslie Wagner. She's down the Gold Coast this morning and hasn't got a chance of getting to a computer.
Oh, all right.
Isn't it a smartphone? Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
she had a day off and left her phone at home, which would be good advice.
Okay. I'll be signing off at 8:15 to catch up with my VA today.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
Brian.
It's our last conversation. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike. Is Mike still in the Philippines?
I believe so.
Yeah.
He's muted, so he.
That sounded like you said he's muted.
He's to catch up on his sign language.
Muted. Hi, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Morning.
Morning.
What time
Morning,
is
all.
it there, Mike?
5:30 in the morning.
Today or yesterday?
I think we should. Charlie, don't you think we should push it back an hour, mate?
It's quarter to 5 here in the morning. Anyway,
Yep.
do you think we should start?
Yeah, it's time to start. Ready, set, go.
For everybody?
Don't wait for the latecomers, otherwise everybody keeps coming late.
Yeah. There you go. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first of the year. It's going to be an exciting meeting, whether you like it or not, because that's the. We're going to start off as we do most swap meetings with swap grace. So, Margaret, can you please handle swap grace for us?
Yep. Thanks, Patty. Dear Lord, we thank you for the food and this opportunity for fellowship, and ask you to bless this meeting, this swap meeting and swap gatherings around the world. Amen.
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 All right. Amen.
Praise
And because we don't play the music or show the flag, but please acknowledge the virtual Australian flag and its anthem, the New Zealand flag and its anthem, the Canadian flag and the USA and its anthem, and now, of course, the Philippines flag and its anthem, and the Lao flag and its anthem. But please don't ask me to sing the anthem.
Why not?
Give it a crack.
Righto. The swap creed. Well, who was going to do the swap creed isn't on board yet, so I'll do it myself. I do hereby promise and pledge that from today onward, I will continually strive and think in a positive manner and have positive thoughts with regard to my profession and life I am living. I realise the importance of the right attitude to make this pledge, as I'm aware of the truth in the law stating, as a person thinks in their heart, so they shall be. And I think that's another amen.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. Now, I have some apologies, and I think we've just had one from Leslie Wagner, but we've also got apologies from Sylvia Morris, Sylvia Marina, her husband David is in hospital, Roger Bull, who's travelling around New Zealand, Linda Dyer, her son's birthday today, Dot Kirkup, Susan Sayers Phillips, Mr. Walter Vecchiet, who's gone to the dentist, Bob Jameson, Josh Galter Pearson, Catherine Palin Brinkworth, and Rowena Pryor. That's the most apologies I think we've ever had.
Absolutely.
But anyway, there's a few there, isn't there? So, and welcome all our dignitaries. So if you're a past national president or past vice national president, past president, life member, fellow swap, past club president, past member of national or club committee members, please give us a wave. Come on, give us a wave, everybody. I think that's basically everybody through this morning. And now, of course, we're going to do I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel great, which in this household is going to wake everybody up, and I love it. I love doing that. So do exercises, get our exercises ready. Come on, Rhonda, I can see you're not doing it. Come on, exercises.
I am.
1, 2, 3. I'm alive.
Alive, well,
Well,
I feel great.
I feel great. I'm alive. I feel great. I'm alive. I'm well. I feel great.
Great.
Oh, and here's Alex. Good morning, Alex.
Good
Welcome.
morning, Charlie.
Now, we haven't got our thought of the day judge. She's not online either.
I'll be the judge.
All right then. So you're the thought of the day judge. All right. And then we'll start off with.
Might I add, you're looking very nice there today, Rhonda.
Oh, thank you. I've got a few.
Got some romance in the club.
Well, she's the thought of the day judge as well.
It's good. Just I'm
Right.
multitasking here. Somebody else needs a link. Ready
I
to
think we
go.
might. Okay, we're ready for the thought of the day,
Yep, I'm ready.
because I've just lost my list of who's online. So I've been
Just
out
look
of
at
it.
the screen, Charlie. You'll see who's online.
Well, I can't see anybody. But I've got
Well,
16.
turn it onto gallery view so you
Well,
can.
neither can I, but I don't complain.
Hard at the top, isn't it, Charlie?
Review on on my iPad, I should say.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Just talk amongst us. You've got 2 minutes to get yourself a cup of coffee, and then we're beginning.
Looking wonderful this morning, Rhonda.
Battery will get you everywhere.
You know,
Hi,
I have a
Yvonne.
question. Are there any active swap clubs now anywhere that you know of?
Perth, Western Australia is still active.
Is it really?
Wow.
Oh,
That's because they won't let anybody out of there.
Hey, Denzo, they've never gone inactive.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Right.
Maybe that's why they won't let anybody out.
There,
Morning.
Rhonda, you're sacked.
Why?
We've just Yvonne Collier is online, and she's our thoughts judge.
Oh, okay.
Yay!
Hi.
Hi, thank you very much. I love it.
Righto. So I'm ready to begin, and we're going to be doing it in order of booking. So I have to start it because Sylvia's not here. So good morning, swappers, and any future swappers that we might have on board here this morning. My name is Charlie Nichols, co-host of the Lau Lake House. And my thought for the day is the best way to succeed in life is to act on the advice you give to others. Did you hear
That's serious.
That is a good
hear
one.
that? All right. So are we ready? Now, the next one is Jeremy Britton. Can you please give us...
Thought of the day comes from the Dalai Lama, allegedly. Every quote in existence has been attributed to the Dalai Lama or Einstein over time. But the thought is sometimes not getting what you want can be a marvellous stroke of luck.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. Now, Dot Young, have you joined us, Dot?
No, Dot's not here at the moment.
Anne Carlson.
Yes, I'm here. And you know, mine is my name begins with an A, and there are two other A's that are going to be really important for me this year. One is action, the other is accountability.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Now, Margaret Ash.
Okay, mine comes from Winston Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Excellent. Thank you. Paddy, are you there? Vinny?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I got a thought for the day, which is about time and money. Okay. We know how much money we've got, but we don't know how much time we've got. So we've just got to be so super careful and appreciative of the time we have and make the most of it living in the now.
Excellent. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Max Hitchens, are you there, Max? No?
Nope.
All right. Greg Eldred.
That's me. Hi, Greg Eldred from Melbourne, Executive Business Machines, and I live by this one. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
Correct. Buttery?
Did you say me? I only heard the last name. I didn't think I was that high on the list. If at first you don't succeed, hide all evidence that you ever tried.
Very good.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Pat Armistead.
This one's from me. You can't lift your bottom line if your people...
Beg your pardon, Denzo.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please, Pat?
Yeah, you can't lift your bottom line if your people are down.
That's true.
Good.
Yes.
Roger Yates.
No, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Good one.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm just on a Zoom call. I'll call you back.
Is Harry?
I'm here.
Yep. You're
mine.
up.
So mine comes from a very good friend. She's a Canadian lady. She is a mentor for people to create love in their life with family and friends and all that stuff that goes around. And she says, don't let the noise of other people's opinions affect your choices.
Ooh, very deep.
It is, isn't it? Yes.
David Shaker. You there, David?
I'm here.
Good.
My quote is also from Winston Churchill. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often.
Really good.
Well, thank you. Susan, what's the name of the dog?
Lola.
Are they booked in? Are they got a thought of the day?
No, she's booked in, and I think her thought of the day is rough, rough, rough.
Rough.
Rough, rough, rough is right.
What's your thought of the day then, Susan? Can you top that?
Okay, well, I was looking through Jim Rohn, and this one jumped out at me, so obviously I need it. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better.
Yes, I do like that one. Thank you. Yeah. Alex.
Learn from the bees. They work together and produce sweetness.
Ooh. Sounds like Charlie and the Angels, the committee.
No, I've just finished extracting my hives.
Okay. Are you on Ken Smithies?
Yep, I'm here.
Good on you, mate. Can you?
Hi, Ken Smithy from Melbourne. My thought for the day is life is mainly froth and bubble, but two things stand alone: kindness in another's trouble and courage in your own.
Gillian.
Yes, Charlie. My thought today comes from D.H. Lawrence, and it is, life is ours to be spent and not saved.
Very good. Thank you. And then we have, oops, I've lost it. Hold on again. Oh, where did it go now? Richard G. Are you on yet, Richard? No. All right. What about Brian?
I'm here. My thought comes from myself. I don't believe in luck. It didn't get me to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. It was my actions that made me get there.
Yes, excellent. I love it. Thank you. And then we have, who else do we got? Denzo.
Yeah, hi guys, great to see everybody. And like Brian, mine comes from myself as well. And it's a little bit of financial advice. I don't normally do this, but the rat is the new Bitcoin. So if you can get one, hold on to it. You're all welcome. Sorry for all those overseas who didn't get that.
I think they've got rat tests everywhere, Denzo.
Mm.
Charlie, have we lost you?
Yep, it's frozen there.
Okay, Mike, how about you go next?
Yes, good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all. And hi, Jill. Good to see you online finally.
Thank you. Good to see you.
My thought for the day is face the sun and to cast your shadow behind you.
Trying to think who hasn't had a thought yet.
I haven't. The thoughts just hasn't.
Yeah, but you go last. Is there anybody else who hasn't had a thought yet? Roger, we've heard yours. Yes, we've heard yours. Jeremy, you, Alex, and I think that might be everybody. Does anybody not have a thought yet, please? Okay, it's over to you, Yvonne.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Hang on. We've got somebody else coming in.
Did you miss me?
No.
Dot Young has just come on, so we might get her thought before we have a judge. We carried on without you. Are you there, Dot?
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's your turn for thought of the day.
insanity is the sort of doing the same thing each day and expecting a different result. I'm working from home and it's on my at my work address. So there we go. I need to recite it more often. I don't know it verbatim.
Now, did we get Patty while I was away? Patty Sweeney?
Yeah, we've done me.
Yeah.
I think we've done everybody except our thoughts judge, and Yvonne's just about to go. So you can take over again, Shelley.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, thank you for being posted. I love it. Anyway, so my thought would win, except I can't think it. It's look and listen for opportunity sometimes knocks softly. So I like that. I also like all of the quotes, and obviously some got laughter, some got like deep thought, and some were your own, some were other people's. So I've actually got 5 that I really like. So I might do honourable mentions first. Alex P, honourable mention, and Paddy T. And then I have to decide whether it's Ken Smith, Charlie, or Jeremy. And actually, I'm just going to muscle test. You know what that is. And it's Jeremy. Jeremy, can you are the winner? Yay. Can you read yours out?
Cool.
There you
So mine was from the Dalai Lama. Sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck.
It's your award, Jeremy.
What's that?
It's your award.
This is my award.
Here, look at the screen.
Spark plug.
I'll send you a picture.
Can you also, Rhonda, could you please send a photo to the Dalai well, because
Dalai Lama.
Oh, it was the delivery that won the prize, I'm sure.
Right. Now look, get yourself a cup of coffee, all right? 2 minutes to get a cup of coffee.
Oh, good, I need one.
Thank you. And I've just got my breakfast, fried tofu. Apparently I'm on a diet. But you can talk yourselves if not getting yourself a cup.
So yes, Pat, so good to see you, and I'm looking forward to your presentation. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Dennis, fancy seeing you here. Well done.
Fancy that. God, blimey, I know. I should be down swimming.
You should be. Denzo. I like that, Denzo.
Yes, the old Denzo.
Oh, yeah, can't believe Yeah.
Yes, I'm very disappointed, actually.
Oh, it was good.
No, you can't go that now. I didn't even get a mention.
No, you didn't. Can't mention everybody. So good.
Funny. It is good to see, right? I have been for a swim. I went for a surf before this morning, so that was good.
That's fantastic.
Good way to start the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we swim every morning at the pool. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You should be.
Closest is the internet.
Where's got my coffee?
Got your coffee? Is everybody back?
Video and the camera's on. Who was the first person on the call this morning?
I came in very early, but no one was there, so I went out again.
Okay, Jeremy, did you say you came in about 6:45?
Yeah. I was an eager beaver.
Yeah, that's okay, because the first person on started the video, and it'll probably be your view that is captured. It's not supposed to start recording automatically, even though I've turned it off, so I've got to go back and find out what's happening there. When we go to the speaker, can you set your screen to speaker view, please? Are you on a computer?
Who are you talking to?
Jeremy.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Are you on a computer or an iPad or
I'm
something?
on a computer.
Okay, at the very top right-hand corner, you've got 9 little boxes and the word
Yep.
view beside it. If
Oh,
you
yep.
click on that, you've got a choice of what you're looking at. So once the speaker's talking, if you wouldn't mind switching to speaker view, just to make sure we're capturing what we need to and not
Yep, got it.
speaker or gallery will do.
I've got speaker. I'm looking at Alex's butt right now.
On speaker, it'll switch to whomever is speaking. Okay.
He's playing Pac-Man, so we'll be picking up the background noise.
Well, are we ready, folks?
I'm about to leave in about 8 minutes, people, so I'll bid you a good day before we all start.
Thanks for joining us, Brian.
You're welcome.
Great to see you, Brian.
Take care. You're welcome.
Yeah, Brian.
Righto, folks. Do we have any wins of the week before we get into our first speaker? Anybody got any wins of the week that I'd like to share with us?
I have actually. I've been contacted quite out of the blue by a film company who is very interested to make a documentary of my art. I do a good grief program and use a casting process. So I was just delighted to have that happen. Most unexpected.
Well done.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So Wayne, actually, yeah, I've just thought I've got two. One, next week I'm training online, but people from India, Japan, Singapore, Sydney, the rest of Australia. So it's like, wow, awesome. And today I'm picking up my brand new MacBook Pro.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this one that I'm on now is like 7 years old, and it's time for a
Oh, it's ancient.
one. So I'm so excited. I'm picking it up at 11 o'clock.
How do you get a computer to last 7 years?
I don't know. It's a Mac, so maybe that's it. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so thank you.
We had a big win this week, Charlie. We were approached and have been appointed the Australian distribution point supply, the largest air purification manufacturer out of the US. So we start with them the beginning of next month.
Oh, very good.
And I got a win with the commercial cleaning company I work with. We've been able to take away business from another major company here in Australia, down in the Gold Coast area, and we're looking after several more large council buildings.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good.
very happy.
I have a little win I'd like to share with you. As most of you know, I do volunteer teaching, teaching English. So see any Lao people in Australia with an Australian accent, I probably taught them. But I've just been approached to teach Lao, would you believe, to a 6-year-old that can't read or write Lao, and so I'm going to teach him how to read and write Lao, specifically writing the Lao, the alphabet and stuff like that. So it's good for me.
You know
It'll be good for him.
Lao, Charlie?
Sorry?
You know anything about Lao?
Yes, I do. I know the girls in Lao are beautiful.
You know how to Lao down.
Anything else, Greg?
No.
Before I introduce you, don't forget I've got the stage now to introduce you, so you better behave yourself.
Okay.
Right? So, our swap member this morning is no other than Greg Aldred, who is the Vice President of Global Swap Inc. And he's also the membership secretary. Oh yes, secretary I think is a good word for him. The membership
Director.
No?
Director.
Oh, director. So the membership secretary director. Well, can we just keep secretary in there somewhere? And he's going to share some things that the committee have voted on. It's a pretty important announcement for us to go the next step as an organisation. So, Greg, and then after that, if you wish, we'll have questions, and you can ask him as many hard questions as you like. All right. So, Greg, it's all yours.
Thanks, Charlie. Can I sort of put this in perspective as to what you really asked me to do? And that was to be the 5-minute speaker in the traditional format of what 5-minute speakers used to do at a swap club, and that was to give a 5-minute overview of themselves. But the additional responsibilities that you've asked me to do as well.
Well, you don't need 5 minutes to talk about yourself, so just...
Okay, Greg Elderwood. I can't remember the date that I joined SWAP, but it's a long time ago. In relation to where I kicked off, traditionally a selling career, I started selling at 19 years of age. I worked with a fellow swapper by the name of Michael Gordon, and my job was to push a photocopying machine on a trolley down St Kilda Road, and I wasn't allowed to go back to the office until I sold it and then pick up another one and go back to St Kilda Road, push it down St Kilda Road until I sold that one. So my education on sales was pretty much the old hard story of knocking on doors and selling product. But that led me on an interesting career. I moved on and opened my own business in Melbourne, which was Executive Business Machines, and that branched out to 3 offices, 15 staff, more motor vehicles than staff at one stage, and around that $4 million in turnover. And the growth of that business was quite quick, quite phenomenal at that stage. And we had the 19% interest rates at the same time. But I put that down to SWAP and what the ethos of what SWAP was, and also the people in SWAP that would give you a pat on the back, that they give you the inspiration to keep going. Due to the 90% interest rate, I had to scale that business back. I had a family issue and I ended up closing that business and took a bit of a sabbatical. But then I got approached by a major recruiter in Melbourne to join Vodafone and launch Vodafone in Australia, with the responsibility of looking after Melbourne and appointing the retail agencies, the corporate salespeople. And that was a great job. We used to sell mobile phones, and we shouldn't really declare this. We used to sell mobile phones to high flyers in the CBD, but they wouldn't work past St Kilda Junction because the base stations weren't up. But so we started it from a very, very raw stage. That led to roles at Optus, Telstra, and a major role at Motorola that put me in charge of cellular products and paging products, and really my true general management role. So I moved from hands-on sales into general management, and worked with some senior organisations, again, like the likes of Telstra and Optus on projects. Was successful in picking up a $2 million out of Australia Post, and that was for the establishment of the very first telephone bill pay service. And that telephone bill pay service we enhanced and built them more. We built that into the Australia Post internet bill paying service. And then that launched into the billing platforms that are available today. So we're actually involved in the very start of your traditional telephone bill paying service with Australia Post. Some big orders out of BHP, a $2 million out of BHP. We picked up all their reception areas around Australia. So anybody that rang a BHP office, they were answered by our contact centre and then redirected through BHP. An interesting order out of Defence Health for about $1 million. So it put me in the big stakes of doing business, and I was with SWAP during that period of time. Then I got to the stage I was always on a plane. I got sick and tired of general management roles. I gave it away. And since that time, I've resurrected my own business as Executive Business Solutions here in Melbourne. And that's specialising in the MFD copier space as our backbone product. but moving very strongly into cybersecurity, cloud telephony, remote working solutions, and now in a big way in air purification solutions, which is a major project for us. With regards to swap, I started at Summit Swap in Nunawading via Michael Gordon, and most people will remember Michael Gordon. So I had a stint there. We moved to Explorer Swap up to Fuller Road, and that was the heady days with the Honourable Ray Pape and the band of amigos there. We did some great stuff at Explorer Swap. And then I branched off and established Melbourne Network Swap at the Windsor Hotel. And that was a major chunk of my swap career. We built a club of over 100 in membership. We'd have meetings with 50, 60 people on a Friday morning continually. And we built a unique club. During my swap period in time, I've achieved President of the Year, Club of the Year, Salesman of the Year. And I found those awards within swap gave you tremendous growth, now that we've got global swap, you know, with the determination of Charlie in his retirement to resurrect this, we're really starting with a group of excuse the pun, of the old feather dusters of swap. And we, our first event being the reunion to Laos, we were really positive. We had a great trip, great adventure, great camaraderie. And it was really a reunion of the oldies of swap. But that gave us a basis of where can we move forward? How can we leverage forward with that? Are we going to be just a group of retirees that meet annually, or what are we going to do? What we want to do is that we actually want to rekindle the group, accommodating for the, and I use this respectfully, the oldies of swap. That's out of respect, not out of being a bit of a smart ass, because there's so much camaraderie there, so much tenure there, and so, you know, so much history there. And it's great to capture it and meet with it. But what we're doing is rekindling some of the values of the old swap. If you look back at the old swap in the days, it was very gung-ho, everyone was bulletproof. Now we're a lot further down the track, we're more mature, we have different desires, and business is different. So some of the things that we've decided to do is to, in this group, is to continue this global swap, continue it with its solid membership base, but we're looking for new growth, new members. And so what we've brought in is a division which we call run by a business director, and that's to focus on business requirements within the group, but also to attract new people who want to come to swap. So that business swap or the business director's role is, if you have an inquiry or you want to know somebody that you don't, that you haven't met before, and this is global, so it could be somebody in the US, it could be Mike over in Asia, that you want to promote a business or you need help in the growth of your business. The business director is there to work with you and enhance you in what you want to do. The other area is youth swap, and we're appointing a youth swap director to build our skills program down the East Coast. We had a lot of success with that in the old swap, and it's something we're committed to. It's our social cause. It has not started as yet, so we're in the formative stages, and we're looking for an appropriate youth swap director in each state, in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria at this stage. So if anybody wants to put their hand up or come forward on that, happy to have a chat to you about it. Or if there's anybody from the past in the old swap days that you think would be appropriate and they need to rekindle, more than happy to have a chat to them. One thing that we need to put a bit of discipline into the way we run the group, in that the expectation is that you become a fully paid member after your third meeting. So if you're inviting guests, they're welcome to come, they're welcome to participate, but the expectation is that they will become a financial member after their third meeting. And membership, we've argued over this one. Charlie wanted to be in the high hundreds. We've come up with $59.95 for an annual membership. So he was shouted down on it, very greedy. So we're looking for members to invite guests regularly so we can grow the club. We are in a growth phase. We've got some great building blocks. So in summary, the membership, what does it offer? Regular monthly meetings, the virtual meetings, which we're part of now, and they're working very well. Quality guest speakers, we've got a good array of guest speakers coming on a monthly basis. There's the key networking opportunities now, which are global networking opportunities that we didn't have in the old days. the Business Direct program, the Youth Swap program, the annual convention incorporating the gala dinner and local culture tour and highlights. That's all in place, and all for $59.95 a year. So reach out to myself or any other committee member if we can help you, guide you, or involve you in the organisation any further. And I think I've accomplished what you wanted me to cover, Charlie.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you, Greg.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate that. And I online to obviously become a fully fledged member. We have to have members because it's the law, because we are incorporated. And so we just got to try and follow the right path. So thanks, Greg. Thanks for that. We really appreciate it.
Can I say something, Charlie, please?
Yes.
Or
any. Go on.
The official information about becoming a financial member will be online today. It'll be on the Facebook group and on the web page. So anything you need to know to get involved with that will be there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other than that, is there any questions at all from any of them? Anybody online? Comments, queries, complaints?
I think the important part is if we can invite guests along.
Yeah.
And start getting into the habit of inviting people along.
All right. That's it.
Could I ask what the money's going to be put to for the membership?
You want to answer that, Greg, or do you want me to answer it?
Well, the standard response is it runs the business. But you elaborate on that further, Charlie.
Oh, well, it costs us money to do all these things. It even costs us money to do Zoom. It costs us money for insurances. There's a lot of things that cost, and we just want to keep ahead of the game and also use the funds to rekindle these programs that we're talking about. But as a member, you'll have obviously you'll have rights to look at the books and all the rest of it when we have our AGM. So everything has to be accounted for. We have a great treasurer, Teresa. She looks after all the money. No one else does except for Teresa.
And I've got to say, Charlie, you know, we joke and call the committee Charlie and his angels. The angels really are the backbone of this group, the work they do. I'm talking about you, Rhonda. I'm giving you a compliment in public. The support and the work is superb.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on. So, because the best is yet to come, we've got Pat.
Thanks very much.
Is Pat there?
Yes.
Oh, Pat's there. That's very good. Well, I'm going to call on Harry. Harry,
Yes.
could you please introduce Pat?
Absolutely, would be my pleasure. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Pat before this morning, but Pat has almost 40 years plus. She doesn't look a day over 21. Has been coaching and facilitating programs that enable people to experience well-being in their lives. Obviously, with current happenings, that's important with anxiety and depression and, you know, all the stuff that comes with being locked up and locked in and not being able to, you know, get together. I found it really interesting. Her bio says that Pat sees crisis as a catalyst for personal growth and ongoing transformation. I look forward to knowing about that. I was also interested in her, what kind of ancestor will you be? I don't have kids, but I have 13 nieces and nephews. And actually that's on, I've never verbalized it that way, but it's in my mind. What will happen when I go? Do they want me to leave them something, or will they just be joyful for knowing me? So I look forward to her talk today. And yes, Pat says there will be joy when she asks the question, what kind of ancestor will you be? And also she transforms workplace well-being. And as I said, she's a multi-award winning speaker, coach, facilitator, author. Oh my God, I can hardly wait. Thanks, Pat. Here you go, all yours.
Thank you. Just give me a moment while I bring up.
Absolutely.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to mute everybody. So Pat, would you please unmute yourself?
Yep.
Thank you. Beautiful. Pat, you're still muted. Beautiful.
Coming through now.
Yes, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. How interesting that you're talking about this regeneration, and there's been several mentions of the wisdom that's in the room from all these older established members. When Charlie asked me about presenting, I thought, oh gee, okay, what would be timely? And there were two things that really came present for me. The first was I'm really sitting very well in my own elder years, if you like, and appreciating the strength and courage, my ability now to call things as I see them, not be polite as I might have been 20 or 30 years ago, and to really live into my strengths and the wisdom that I have, to really own it. I'm going to share with you about a man by the name of Stephen Jenkinson, who's written a book called Come of Age, and I want to talk a little bit about that. And then the main thing I want to discuss is a company that I've worked with recently called Programmed. And that work with them over a 15-month period really has just heartened me for how we will be in business in the years to come. So let's begin with Stephen Jenkinson's book called Come of Age, The Case for Elderhood in a Time of Trouble. It's a big tome, and it's not a book about aged care. It's a book about claiming this elderhood that we've lost. Many other cultures are really steeped in a three-generational aspect of their culture. Yet we white folk tend to kick our elderly to the curb, and they're placed in aged care. Many other cultures, the elder generation is maintained within that family context. So Stephen Jenkinson's writing, and I highly recommend this book, is really agitating some thinking around what it means to be an elder and how we might live out that legacy now. It's not about a legacy that we might leave later. It's living into this space here and now.
Can I ask you to change your view to full screen, please?
Into the health sector and business, most of which has been geared to supporting people to manage the stressors in their life and take a different view, and also managing grief and loss, which has not been talked about at all in the workplace, but is going to be very much in the fore, is there already. And in the coming years, we're going to see a lot of people who, through this last 2 years experience, have been left very unresourced financially, physically, emotionally. And I just so see now that it's you and I, as the wise elders, who can live into that. A very big component of my work has been teaching people how to be good-humoured, and not like the clown that you see on the slide, but to be good-humoured is to be appropriately responsive or not, and to know the difference for when you can and can't do or say certain things. So teaching people a very high level of listening and communication skills. The company that I worked with, Program, some of you may know or have heard of this business. It's a very big company, 30,000 staff. And I've worked with them over a 15-month period, working with 450 of their business leaders and the board members of the company. The main brief was to deliver a mental health in the workplace program, but in particular, supporting them to manage their own stress, anxiety, depression, and suicide ideation, and more importantly, to enable them to be a resource for the people that they're leading. Very big company, 30,000 staff. And the principal thing was to be enabling them to be having brave conversations, to start shifting perceptions about mental health, and have them take off the lenses, if you like, and see things in a different way. To my delight, as this program progressed, I was just absolutely enamored with the company. Many of the board members came to all of the sessions over that 15-month time frame. I ran 2 or 3 a week. The company has a motto: if you see it, own it. And one of the board members that I became very friendly with, he's been with the company some 20, 25 years, and he said, "Pat, while ever I'm here, no one will get injured when they come to work." And his commitment to that was evidenced on one particular day. He excused himself for the room. He said, "Excuse me, I see something out the window I need to attend to." We all looked out the window to see what that might be. And all we could see was someone cleaning a glass overhang on a shop front across the other side of the street. Well, that's exactly where he headed. And while he was there, he was instructing these cleaners on how to safely execute this task, which they were not safely doing. So he saw them through to completion and safely down off this glass overhang. And when he came back to us some 20 minutes later, he asked, "Can I just share what's happened?" And he reiterated the motto: if you see it, own it. He said, "So I saw the high risk for that person. They should not have been walking on that glass overhang. They had no safety gear. There was no surrounds for the passing pedestrians. So it was a potential disaster." And I said, "Oh, they must be some of your people." And he said, "No." And that's when I really got their commitment to their catch cry. He said, "They're not my people." He said, "But I will today find out who the company is, and I'll be in touch with the managers of that company, and I'll give them my advice on how they should be preparing and keeping their people more safe." So I really just got in that one episode, and many, many others, just how much they live into that, and how much, how keenly observant they were all the time. So these 450 men were just evidence day after day of a new level of consciousness that I had not seen in the past. Over this last 20 years, worked with a lot of businesses and a lot of business leaders, and they've been slow to take on a new range and a new way of thinking outside the box of strategy. And this company was already on a strong pathway towards that. So the programs I delivered were very much delivering into that mental health space, giving them some background knowledge about all of those conditions and how they might manage them. But then it was also about telling them stories and showing them one story in particular that really challenged how they look at things. And there's a video that I screen and they watch it, and it's pretty confronting. There's a series of activities that they do post watching it. Then we discuss their findings, and then I demonstrate to them all the things that they missed. And it was in that process that I really got to see the keen attention, their fascination, and their willingness to be in this more personal, vulnerable space that involved everyone in the room, actually. There were so many in the room that had many lived experiences of mental health, of different circumstances. One man at the end of the day, he said, "Pat, I need you to know," he said, "I'm going home tonight to be present to my wife." He said, "I never realised," and tears were in his eyes now. He said, "I never realised until today, but my wife suffers with anxiety." All the men, and it was mostly men in the room, stood and gave him a standing ovation. And I really got, he was going to be a different man from that point on. And so too were all around him. His wife would have seen the difference when he went home that day, and the people that he worked with from there on would be seeing something very different. Some time back, I think it was about 2002, I did one of Ron Lee's programs in New Zealand, and he made the remark, "I am curious to see where you will go with this, Pat." And when I look at my own perceptions back then, I began a business called Joyology. It began as a result of a series of losses at the turn of the century. I didn't know what Joyology was going to be because there had been no Joyology prior to that. And so it was very much a developmental process. And as I used to be a registered nurse, so a lot of my nursing experience came to the fore, and then a lot of my creative ability to bring some programs into action. I do remember in that program, I never did get to break with the side of my hand the piece of wood, but I did manage to break the arrow, which I hope you can see here. I did break the arrow. So the things that working with this company have really brought me present to is they have consistently their EAP level is always in the upper quartile. And for the last 20 years, the businesses I've worked with, it's typically between 3 and 10%. So there's something pretty amazing happening, that they've created this really high trust environment for their people to come into this space, and for so many to lead so well and hold that over time and maintain this incredible safety record for their people. The one man said to me on one of the days, we were in Sydney and he'd flown down from Canberra, and he said, "Pat, I wasn't going to come." He said, "I was really challenged and confronted by the thought of coming." He said, "My brother committed suicide some 8 months before, and I was still coming to terms with that and very confronted, and thought, I'm just going to go upset, so I don't think I'll go." He said, "But I woke at midnight and knew I had to be there. So I booked a flight and I did the pre-work on the plane. and here I am. And yeah, he talked about being able to get another level of understanding and perception so that he could see things that he might have missed as a result. And time again, as people shared like that, others in the room, like us, had ideas about how they each could contribute. And I really see this is where we are now. We've got a lifetime of experience, we've got life experience, we have business experience, and we can be the agitators that Stephen Jenkinson is speaking of. There's great shifts and changes happening, and we're all going to be part of that. And I do love that this regenesis is happening with SWAP, because I think it brings to the fore all this wisdom that can go forward. There's a lot of carnage that's been happening. There's a lot of courage that's had to come to the fore, and people are going to need help to step into that more courageous place. On the back of Stephen Jenkinson's book, he writes, "Come of age does not offer tips on how to be a better senior citizen or how to be kinder to our elders. Rather, with lyrical prose, Jenkinson explores the great paradox of elderhood, how we are awash in the aged and yet somehow lacking in wisdom, how we relegate senior citizens to the corner of the house, while simultaneously heralding them as sage elders simply by virtue of their age. Our own unreconciled relationship with what it means to be an elder has yielded a culture nearly bereft of them. Meanwhile, the planet boils. The younger generation boils with anger over being left an environment and socio-political landscape deeply scarred and broken." When I talk about what kind of ancestor will you be, and I went searching for an image and I found this darling lady and I thought, there I am. I want to be known for my creativity, for the ideas that I dared to have and give expression to, and the willingness I've had over the years to go to whatever has come up in my life. I've had a trail of losses, and as I've lived into each of those experiences and healed from them, it's given me not 1 or 10, but hundreds of stories to share that can be used now to support others. And so I see my ancestor status being in the now. I'm going to be this ancestor now, and I'm going to live her now. I'm writing my 3rd book at the moment called Joyful Empowerment. The Only Way Out is Through, and it recounts some of those stories. So my question is, what kind of ancestor will you be, and how can you live into it in the here and now? Thank you so much. Been a joy. Just stopping the share. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag there.
Everybody's muted. Just remember, if you want to speak, you'll need to unmute.
Thanks, Pat. That was good.
Is there any questions?
certainly a fresh perspective. Anyway, that's got me thinking.
Me too.
I've actually done a case study, which I'll happily share with the group on that project, because once I got towards completion, I thought, oh, I wish I had set it up to capture more. However, I captured all that I could towards the end. And I think this company is showing real conscious leadership in a way that others I've worked with have not. And that's not a criticism, but more something we can all aspire to. And their commitment to that. And it's a commitment from the boardroom. You know, the members of the boardroom came to so many of the presentations, often more than once. In the past, I've seen, working with managers and their teams, sometimes you'd be lucky to get the manager to come. So there was this deeply embedded commitment, which I just loved. I also did an interview with one of the board members and would happily share that too. Through the lockdowns, they never delayed any payments to all their people. He said to me, Pat, I know most of our people live pretty much week to week or fortnight to fortnight, and to wait for the government subsidies before they got paid would place them in a difficult position. So we never lost a moment in making payments over the last 2 years. And I get that they have the wherewithal to do that, so that's awesome. But also it's a wonderful commitment from leaders to the humanity of the people that they're serving and looking after.
Any other questions?
So can we hear the case study? Can you do it, a short case study? Or another one, if that was it?
I mean, I'll happily share the case study with you. It's a very detailed case study. You know, I went right back to their brief and what they were looking for, my initial plans, what we delivered on, and a lot of the key changes that occurred, and then the sustainable change, because I added at 6-monthly intervals when I was writing the case study, more things that were happening that were showing some consistency of ongoing learning. So I'm really happy to share it. It's a bit too long to share here. Perhaps I can share that on the group. Someone can advise me.
Ken here. The question, what kind of ancestor will you be? It's an open-ended question, obviously. Are there any suggestions on what sort of ancestor you should be?
I don't think there's a should. The very essence of who we are is my belief, and how we've been showing up in our life. I was a registered nurse for 16 years, got burned out, left nursing, ended up in video production, very different enterprise, worked there for 11 years. And what I realised now, having been 20 years as a speaker, is I had that 16 years developing my compassionate self. Then I had the 11 years in advertising, working with my creative expression. And now I've been able to harness the two to serve humanity. So that's just my expression, but for each of us, we've got this unique pathway that's informed us to bring us to now. And I came through an era where you pretty much did as you're told, and I'm a bit of a rebel, so I didn't travel very well with that. I was always in matron's office as a nurse. However, what I see now is I have always lived into my impish self, for example, even though it sometimes got me into trouble. And so my natural abilities have been there all the time. And now I can really consciously use that. Before it was more or less unconscious or subconscious. Now I consciously use those attributes and skills to make an even bigger difference. So I think looking at our life path and the values we hold. I made a little vision board. Some years back. Where are we? And I don't know if it'll show. In 2004, I really identified my 3 key motivators. The things that get me out of bed are love, freedom, and spiritual intimacy. And that hasn't changed. It's my guiding light now. I don't need to think about it. It's the truth of who I am. And it keeps me on track. And my creative, people say to me, oh my God, I just can't believe all the creative ideas you can come up with. So a lot of the indicators for who we might claim living out as an ancestor now will come from the feedback too. The feedback we get, how people see us.
Yeah.
And rather than waiting till we pass to pass on the legacy, the invitation is to live it now. You know, people, I've had conference owners from 2002, last Christmas actually, a conference leader rang me and she said, oh, I've been looking for you for a couple of years. She said, I just wanted you to know that bucket and spade you gave me at the conference in 2002, when you said, I want to thank you for letting me come play in your sandpit. She said, I've still got the bucket and spade on my desk and it's got little jokes and quotes in it. So there's a trail, we're leaving a trail. And if we can't quite identify it ourselves, the feedback tells us, who are we being? Who are we being as we, you know, live into our life purpose?
Yes, so the skills we've developed through our lives are what we should be using into the future to share more of ourselves in detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed.
And, you know, we're one of the board members one day during tea break, I had shared, I don't know why it came up, but I'd shared that I'd lost my first daughter. And he sat back in his chair and he slapped the table and he said, oh, Pat, he said, now I get you. So we don't know what aspect or part of our story, even, you know, business stories, is going to make an impact. And trusting our intuitive selves to let stories flow, personal or other, we don't know how it's going to land, but rest assured it's going to touch somebody and they'll be transformed in one way or another. And we've all got that capacity. I remember sitting with Charlie and other people over the years, way back in various masterminds we had in the early days as developing speakers. And I can still remember some of those stories and you know, these foundational stories motivate, inspire others. And here we are now, all these years on, and it's probably 20 years, and back in this circle, and look at what we're talking about. you know, and you were talking about it before I even began. It had been mentioned in the early part of the meeting. So there's this urge. And so many people that I've talked to deeply over the last 20 years talk to me about a hollow that's in their chest. And they don't know what that hollow is, but it's some kind of soul calling, is my belief. And when we share deeply and vulnerably, that's when we forge really deep connections.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Pat. We really appreciate that. As you've just said, I've known you for a long time, and you are certainly making a difference out there with that important message. As a joyologist, I don't know too many speakers that are concentrating on grief or mental health as an example like you are. You've certainly got us thinking. You've posed some questions to me. I sometimes wonder in my own mind, how am I affecting my own children or grandchildren or even my great-grandchildren and what they think of me. And well, I suppose they think, well, where's he gone? And then they find out I'm in Laos. But anyway, one of the things that I really took out of this is see it, own it. And you saw it and you've owned it. And now you're sharing it. And we really appreciate that. So could you please give a round of applause to Pat? So thank you for that. So it's nearly the end of our meeting. Our next meeting is Tuesday, the 1st of March. Tuesday, the 1st of March, all right? So we're going to end. Have we got, is that correct? 1st of March?
Yes.
Yeah, must be. Tuesday, the 1st of March is our next meeting. And we'll get that notice out to you as quickly as we can. And we're going to end as we always end with I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel great. And at the moment, Denzo's on the screen, so I'll let Denzo lead us. Come on, Denzo, you're leading.
Okay, everybody, here we go. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm alive. I'm well. I feel great. I'm alive. I'm well.
I feel great.
I feel great. Well.
I
feel great.
Now, I presume online just for a few more minutes if you want to do a little bit of have a little chat.
Yeah,
so,
stay away because it's on
all right, so that's the official end of the so a little bit of networking now, folks. If you want to talk to somebody, now's the best time, or ask any more questions.
That was very interesting, Pat.
Yeah, very good.
Lovely.
I have to head off, everyone. So have a fabulous month and I'll see you next month. Bye, everyone.
For being here, Margaret.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody. Have a great month. Yay.
Thank you, Pat, and everybody.
Bye.
Lovely.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good
Yeah.
day, everybody. Have a good month. Happy February.
Bye.
Hey, Mike, how's it going in the Philippines? Oh, that was a quick exit.
French exit, Philippine exit. Thank you, Pat. I'm still processing. It's amazing. Different, very different perspective. So,
yes.
Yeah,
we always worry what kind of parents we're going to be or what kind of grandparents we're going to be, but ancestors are like intergenerational thing. So I love it.
and it's interesting how much effects things have on other people. And as you say, Pat, sometimes something so fleeting has a Real forever impact on another person.
Yes.
Dr. John DiMartini has written a plan for 400 years beyond his demise.
Wow.
Mamma mia.
Only he could do that, of course. But yeah, There's, at the moment, we have so much transgenerational trauma that's coming through now, being brought up by current circumstances, that is old, last generation, generation before. And this is a great opportunity now for healing. And as elders, I know all of you are not perhaps calling yourself an elder, but you know, we're in our mature years, we're solid, we're grounded, and we're certain of things, even though there's uncertainty. And for a lot of people, they can't get that. And that's a very precarious place to be. And that's part of what we can bring in just by something I'm saying to business people all the time now, strategy alone will not get us through now. You know, we need emotional literacy, conversational intelligence, and social intelligence. Melded, we still need strategy, of course, but these other things are going to be key now.
We've got a lot of people who don't seem to have a direction, and I think we've got a generation or two of younger people who have really missed out on family connection. The time has been quite material, and people spending time with kids, just giving them the opportunity to speak and be heard and have that one-to-one closeness. So even grandparents these days, a lot of them are still working. So it's not the traditional grandparent role that it was when we were kids. Yeah. You know, grandparents, somebody who's got time to talk with you. It's a very different world. And I think we're seeing a lot of this in society now. So we do have a role to be mentors and to be carers and take time for people.
Yeah. I lived in New Zealand for 20 years, back in Brisbane now. And for the time I was over there, New Zealand has had the highest youth suicide rate in the world for 20 years consistently. Every time I gave a presentation, I asked the group, who are we being that our young people look out and don't see hope? So, you know, it's like, not you, the collect, but, you know, the collective needs to show up. And, you know, they do see a lot of, you know, I've had a lot of feedback from younger people in Melbourne, and they just feel helpless.
The world needs swap again.
It does.
100%.
Yeah,
I think one of the things, and I feel that one of the things with teenage suicides is that they're in a situation now and their situation is right in front of their face. They don't have the life experience to know that this is a phase of life. You know, we've been through there, and because we had connections as we were going, people would say, you know, it's okay, it'll get better, it'll change. So we know there's something to look forward to. If the kids have grown up without anybody they can really talk to intimately, or somebody who will just sit down and be with them when they're younger, they've got no way of knowing that. So as they get on through life, these dramas become just a picture on the wallpaper. At the time, it's all they can see. And I had this conversation with a teenager just the other night, and it's like, oh, you know, it really turned the light on. And that's such an important thing. They have to understand, as you say, Pat, the only way out is through. And one of my favourite sayings from the worst time in my life is the only way through is through, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not always a train coming the opposite direction.
Yeah. I taught Martin Seligman, Professor Martin Seligman, the positive psychology guru. He's been to New Zealand several occasions, and I talked to him each time, asking the question, you know, why do you think we have such a high incidence here? And he too remarked, he said, it's a beautiful country. It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. you've got such, this was a few years back, but you've got such relative wealth. I mean, there is some poverty there, but you've got such relative wealth. One has to wonder. And, you know, I think once we can see ourselves as community again, you know, and that idea has been lost a bit, you know. It takes a village to raise a child, remember that? And, you know, we've been doing alone and separate for a long time. So to Stephen Jenkinson in the books, in his book says, if we didn't have rest homes, 900 old people in Victoria would not have died when COVID hit. So it's, you know, a very sweeping statement, but it says a lot about what we do when we incarcerate people.
It's in Asia. One of the first things I noticed when I shifted to Laos and going to the Philippines is the respect that the young people have of the elderly.
Yes.
In here, they can't believe that we put our parents into rest homes.
Yes.
It is parcel of the. If I can say one thing, that when it comes to the kids, the village raise kids. You know, if somebody in the village sees one of the kids doing something wrong, they've got no hesitation in going up and correcting the situation. And I love living here because of that. There's just so much respect for elderly people.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to go. I've got an English class to do now. Thanks, Pat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, great. Good to see everybody. It's always good. Always good.
We're a bit short of Victorians. We'll have to talk to Greg Eldred about that. Is he still around?
Greg's not on the call now, but you've got a job, Ken. See the job and own it.
We have to get more Victorians here. We used to have.
Absolutely. And we're spreading further and further afield. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, gee.
You know, one of the things I say very often is there's always an upside and there's always a silver lining, and it doesn't matter what's going on and what's happening, there's always something else. So we found 2 years ago, we're all shut down in our homes, and look at what we've been able to do now. Look, we have Swap, we can reinvigorate Swap because we can connect all over the world on the internet. And yes, it's not quite the same as being together and hugging and doing what we're doing, but we're reviving that connection, especially while everybody's been locked away and shut down. It's just amazing.
And the unique thing about Swap was you're connecting with positive people only.
Yes.
And
yes.
so people get to view the inspirational things, you know, as a microcosm. I mean, rather than listening to the news, which is absolutely disgusting. I don't watch the news much anymore, so I'm not free to air anyway. But you know, it's all negative, big scare this, big scare that. No wonder children are suiciding.
Yeah.
They really see no hope because they're not even shown any positive stories. It's ridiculous.
Total fear campaign. 2 years of
to get you to do what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the world never needed Swap like it does now.
Well, thank you both for being part of it.
Yeah, well, it's always needed it, but I got so much out of it that Michael Gordon, yet another one who introduced Greg to it, and also me, and then I loved it so much I became national president. So but we did so many great things. Can I make a suggestion at another meeting that we actually remember some of the wonderful events we created in Swap and share them just as a reminder, because
absolutely
we did some fantastic things that can be done again today.
Absolutely.
Like I'll give you one example. We hired a DC3 out of Essendon Airport, and it had the first mid-air swap meeting. Filled it with people. We did our I'm alive, I'm well, I feel great. We had hostesses dressed in 40-year-old uniforms, handing out trays of food for our breakfast. It was fantastic. And flags were flying, and oh my God, it was wonderful. So it's just a matter of think it and do it,
And swappers certainly know how to have fun.
Yeah.
We were in recess for how many years? 10, 12 years. And you just meet swappers again, and it's like you picked up where you left off. There's that heart-to-heart connection. I remember I was introduced to swap not long before I went through the worst time in my whole life, and there was this raft of support. Nobody asked questions. There was just this palpable feeling of total support and being embraced by this community. And it was, that's 20 something years ago, and it still brings tears to my eyes to think. And that's why I'll always be a swapper, because of that. What was given to me, and hopefully I've been able to pass some of that on when it's needed elsewhere.
But when you're doing it on your own, you don't quite have the momentum of the whole crowd. But gee, we did some wonderful things, and people just signed up on the day. They couldn't believe what was going on. They wouldn't be part of it.
Maybe you need to put yourself down for a 5-minute spot to talk about exactly that.
On that subject.
Email Charlie and let him know you want to do a 10-minute about some of our memories from swap.
Yes, love to. All righty. Thank you very much, Pat. And looks like there's only you and I, Rhonda.
That's it. Well, hopefully you'll join us more frequently, Pat. You're welcome to come on anytime you want. We're always in the Facebook page. And good on you for being proactive. She actually got herself invited before I got to send her the link, so I was impressed.
Well done, Pat. Thank you very much, and I'm glad I asked those questions, because it brought out more fully the meaning of what kind of ancestor will you be. And it's something I now have to go away and think about, because how do we get our uniqueness to our ancestors, or whether we just offer it to everybody, like you're doing with your books.
And
your public speaking.
And we don't, there's probably, for me, there's some intentional stuff. I want to be remembered as the world's first joyologist. I've always loved being first in something. But it's more than that. It's I remember once I shared vulnerably that, when I was developing my speaking, I had a nice outfit and gorgeous hat to wear, a little sports car, but I was still living in my overdraft. And so I had all my bank statements as part of my presentation and shared. So it was the looking good thing, but hey, I'm still not quite there.
Make it till you make it.
And a woman came afterwards and she said, you've done a great thing for me today. She said, we sat at the table last night and decided we've done all we can. We're going to have to sell the house. She said, but hearing you and your story, seeing you flick those bank statements, all outlined in red, she said, I'm going home and we're going to sit at the table again and we're going to see if we can find a way.
Yeah.
She rang me about 6 weeks later and they found a way. So I didn't know that was going to happen, but I did know there's this part of me that's showing up looking beautiful, and I could maintain that facade, if you like, or I could tell the truth of who I really am in this minute, which is not bad. We're never fully 100% in full flow in all the areas of our life. If we could be doing well financially, but our health's not great. There's this flux, and I do all of that now. I take people on a roller coaster ride on purpose. I don't know that what's going to happen, only that it will. Something will, and for more than one. And the worst presentation I ever heard was from a statistician talking to a women's group in New South Wales years ago. On and on and on she went about all the statistics in Australia, all the different types of cancer, the number of snake bites, spider bites, drownings, shark attacks, etc. Right? Drownings in pools, on and on, right? An hour she talked. And around about halfway through, I just got this big aha, and I turned around and I looked at the people in the room. There was about 100 women. And I thought, everything you said is here today. They're all here. There'll be 6 women here with breast cancer. There'll probably be 10 or 12 who've lost a child. There'll be someone, there might not be a shark attack, but you know, there were, and so now I just know they're here. They're here, they're in this audience, or they're passing me.
So she wasn't spreading positivity, that's for damn sure.
Well, she was just recounting stats.
Yeah, but they're not stats. If you hear some child's drowned in a pool, you don't think, oh, that's a nice stat to know. You think, shit, some bloody kid is drowned. So you start feeling negative about it.
Yeah. What a gift she gave you, Pat.
Absolutely.
What an opportunity that you had that aha moment, which probably projected you very much on the journey that you've done.
I could have gone ho-hum, boring, right, presentation, but something helped me take the lens off and see that room with new eyes.
Yes.
Right, and so that's the breakthrough thinking I like to create. And I think, see, even asking what kind of ancestor will you be? Well, no one in the room probably has any idea at this point. And that's okay, because to go away thinking and to think longer than 3 minutes after a presentation is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are you based, Pat?
I'm in Brisbane. You're in Melbourne, are you?
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you come down to Melbourne much?
Oh, under ordinary circumstances, yeah.
I'm worried if I leave, I won't be able to get back.
Yeah.
My daughter lives in Melbourne, and it's been a pretty horrible couple of years. She managed to get up here for her birthday a couple of weeks ago, and it's almost 2 years since we've seen her.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we have, and we seem to be getting some wonderful speakers at our breakfast, which is good. And I'll be very happy to be a 5 or 10 minute speaker about SWOT.
Wonderful. Well, enjoy your day, and we look forward to seeing you all online next month. And look out for the membership form online so you can front up. We've got a few life members at the moment, but we're just only just opening up to official membership. So you've got a chance to be first off the rank.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye for now.